All right, folks. All right, we'll go and get started. So first of all, thank you and welcome to Georgia College, and thank you all for being here. We're excited to announce our new head baseball coach, Jason Eller, is here today and going to join us in a few minutes. But I want to thank you as a campus and a community for coming out today, of our faculty and staff. It means a great deal to me. I always use the phrase of culture eats strategy for breakfast every day, and the culture is all about people, and we've got phenomenal people here, and thank you. We did this last year with Stephen and had a similar turnout, so thank you for being here today. I really, greatly appreciate it. So I'll just say, the way the program will work, I'll say a few words, ask Coach Eller to come up and say a few words, mingle, and please shake hands and say hello. We've got food in the back, and then and we'll be on our way, so you all can head to lunch or head back to work or whatever you need to do. So as we get started in this, I want to, first of all, Jason's coming from Augusta University, and I want to take a minute to thank Clint Bryant. Clint Bryant is the Director of Athletics at Augusta. He's one of my closest friends. And throughout this process, it's been phenomenal. If there's a way that organizations who compete against one another could work together as collaborative as we do on all of our work, and I can say that about all of our institutions that we work with in our system and certainly in the Peach Belt Conference. But Clint has been, I told him yesterday, I said, you know, when I just think you can't get any higher on my list, you continue to amaze me, but he's a pro's pro. And so, Clint, thank you so much for this, the way that we've been able to work together through this process. So thank you. I want to thank our committee, and most of them are here today. Neil Jones, Suzanne Pittman, Kay Anderson, Ken Farr, who's not here. Our staff on there would be Al Weston, Jimmy Wilson, Steve Barsby, Mo Smith, and as Gretchen is pointing to remind me not to forget Jamie Grudecki, who was the head of the search committee, and I'm grateful for the work that the committee has done. And Jamie, I want to give a special thanks to you for leading it. I know the feedback from has been phenomenal from everyone, and I want to thank everyone who had the opportunity to meet with our candidates as we Baltimore campus. So thank you so much. I want to thank our staff. The way we work this is each night we'd have our folks come over from about 6:30 to 8 at my house, and they would eat. I want to thank my wife Yvette for preparing a wonderful meal and each night, and we would talk from 6:30 to 8, and I would have our staff there. And of course, this time of the year it's difficult because people are in and out of town and all that. But we'd meet for about an hour and a half and talk, and then we would sit down and talk for probably another 3 hours after that with Jimmy and Jamie and myself and our candidates, and that progressed really well. And then the next day we'd run through the meeting everyone here today as well. But if I'm an outsider and I come to my house and I see our staff, I got to think, this is an incredible place, and because you've got unbelievable people that you work with, and I can't say that enough. I've got the best job in the country. I think I work at the best institution in the country, and I know I have the best staff in the country. It's phenomenal, and the people, and that doesn't just go to my staff. The people that are in this room today, we all work. So every time you meet somebody, they talk about Georgia College, you think, hey, the people are so nice. You just pick up the phone, and you call, and things happen, and because everybody's willing to help, and so that's been wonderful. But in particular on my staff, I just can't thank them enough for being who they are, and they're just awesome people. So that staff that last year, for the fourth consecutive year, had our student athletes with the highest GPA on record, 3.28. We lead the university system in federal graduation rate almost every year. Certainly the last 5 years we had the highest average. This staff had 3 straight years we've raised enough money to grant a wish for Make-A-Wish. We're one of less than 10 institutions, probably 5 institutions in the country that can say that. And this staff also has their teams organized enough to have the second highest finish we've ever had in our Peach Belt Commissioner's Cup. So it all kind of goes hand in hand, but we got the right people on the bus. So I always say that Georgia College is unique, different, and appealing. And the appealing part is the people part. You know, we're unique, certainly with our mission. We're different. We're not your normal average institution, I don't think. And that's very, very appealing. You know, I look at Steve Elliott Gower back there, who has our honors college, who also has our whole tennis team, women's tennis team, as part of that honors college. And that's a top 20 team every year, top 15 team every year. And so that's very unique. It's very different. It's very appealing. You know, so I asked the committee, I said, I really want to look at things that aren't on people's resume. That's what I want to dig into, because I always tell everybody can run a drill, everybody can recruit, but do they align with the value system of our university and within our department? And so those are things that we find out as we talk more and dig more. You know, someone who desires our high standards, not who embraces them, but someone who desires those standards. I know for me, this has just been phenomenal in my going on 7 years now, the standards that we have and the quality of student. People ask me all the time, what's the best thing about Georgia College? I say, it's our students, bar none. And that's just been phenomenal. It just creates such a wonderful atmosphere. I really wanted someone who's contagiously positive. You know, positivity is incredible, and it is contagious. And if you don't believe it, ask Mark Gaines. Mark Gaines is the most positive human being I've ever met. And that's so important to me, and I certainly think that Jason meets that criteria of being contagiously positive. When I had our committee together, I said I got Mo, I got Jamie, and I got Steve on this committee, and Jimmy, but Jimmy's not coaching anymore. I said I want you to combine these people, and that's who I want. That's easy. Just find me somebody like these right here, and we're going to be in great shape. And we certainly have done that today. So what am I looking for in our staff? And again, what does Jason bring to the table? When he got here, he never talked about stats. He talked about developing people. And I think that so aligns with Georgia College. You know, he didn't talk about his time in the SEC or going to the World Series and or you know, taking Augusta to their best record in 10 years and being in the top 25. He didn't talk about any of that. He talked about developing people, and all of those things happen if you start with developing those people first. His 15 years, consecutive years of recruiting in the state of Georgia at a USG institution is probably, again, we were talking about it today, probably less than 5 people, maybe 7 people in the state could say that. I think that's really neat. That's really going to do great wonders for us as we try to identify the right student athletes to attend our university. I had met with one of Hope's soccer recruits the other day. Their parents were in there, and I said, the most important thing to me is your child's student-athlete experience, okay? And so, well, how can I impact that? Well, the most important thing I do as a director is I hire people. And so if I hire the right coach, they're going to recruit the right student-athletes. And so if I just take care of that, everything else is done. So I was telling the folks the other day, I said, if I hire the right you, then they recruit the right you, and then your experience is great 10 years later, 15 years later, 30 years later, whatever, and while you're there, certainly. So that's the most important thing I do, and when I chose the committee to do that, I'm grateful that they were able to understand that, and they took this role very, very seriously. So thank you again, committee. I always say decisions are easy on a college campus. If you base your decision on start with a student and work your way out from there, you'll make the right decision. And I'm confident we've done that today. And my ultimate litmus test is would I want my children to play for this staff? And certainly Jason Eller is unequivocally the answer is yes, as is all 9 of our head coaches in here and our support staff as well. So that's the most important thing to me. Because I have to look parents in the eye and tell them that. And I have so much confidence in able to do that, and not only within our staff, but our faculty and staff at this wonderful university. So, folks, thank you all for coming out. Please give me a standing ovation and warm Bobcat welcome to our new baseball coach, Jason Eller.
really appreciate everybody coming today. This is a dream come true day for me as a baseball coach, as a father and a husband, and now a Georgia College Bobcat. I have a lot of people to thank, so if you'll bear with me for a few minutes, I'd like to first thank Augusta University and Clint Bryant, like Coach Staten thanked. Coach Bryant gave me an opportunity 3 years ago to be a head coach and to start the process of growing as a head coach. And my time in Augusta was awesome. It was a lot of growth, and I really appreciate that. Dr. Keel, the new president there, has got Augusta University on the right track, and I really appreciate everything that happened there. Now, my time here in Milledgeville and as a Bobcat, I want to thank a lot of people. First of all, Coach Staten, as I call him, Wendell, and him giving me the opportunity. Coach Wilson was a big part of this process for me. The committee, Coach Gradecki, Susan Allen, Monica DeLisa, and Neil Jones were people that I got to interact with when I got on campus. And you see the beautiful campus, and you see the people and the students and the backpacks, but you don't know what a special place it is until you get under the hood. And when I got under the hood and I started to meet everybody, I knew that it was the Georgia College family. And that, to me, was what I want my family to be a part of. My wife and I were married here in Milledgeville at the Speck Farm. My in-laws are from here in Sandersville, and it's a dream come true. A neat thing happened to me yesterday. I was at Wofford College in the early 2000s, and I worked for a gentleman named Steve Traylor. And Coach Traylor was ACC Coach of the Year in 1992. And he sent me a congratulations text, so I called him to thank him. He was a mentor of mine throughout this process of growing as a college baseball coach. And when we started talking, he told me that he competed against John Kurtz. And he said 30 years ago, they were an NAIA school in the early 80s, and he started the baseball program at Florida Atlantic. And they were in the NAIA tournament, and Georgia College and Coach Kurtz were in the other dugout. And as I walked through the halls of Centennial, and I looked at the Hall of Famers above, and the picture of Coach Kurtz that's on the website, and the field that's named after him, he looks like the definition of a professional. He looks like a leader of men. And being the 9th head coach of this great program, 30 years, we're still talking about Coach Kurtz. His legacy will never die. And what I'm hoping is maybe 30 years from now, when there's 9 other head coaches, that I can make an impact and we can make an impact on these student athletes the way that Coach Kurtz did. And I promise you, when I step on that field, because I haven't been on that field, I got a Georgia College water bottle that Neil Jones gave me on my interview. And after I drank that bottle of water, I put it in my bag. And I shot a prayer up, and I said, boy, if I get an opportunity to be the head baseball coach here, I'm going to walk on the Kurtz, and I'm going to get some dirt, and I'm going to put it in that water bottle. And I'm going to put it in my office, and I'm going to tell recruits that story. Because recruiting here takes care of itself. When I walked on campus, I could smell the flowers. When we were walking up the stairs, I could feel the history. And like Coach Staten said, I've been a part of other University System of Georgia institutions. And the unity that I felt here makes you want to be a part of it. The other thing that was real appealing was the mission. What are we trying to do for player development, for student-athlete development? We're going to prioritize academics. We're going to prioritize making a 3.0 or better. It's one thing I've learned as a coach. When you start practice, whatever you emphasize will show up during the season. Well, we're going to emphasize academics. We're going to emphasize the experience of going to class and growing as a student athlete, to really digging in to your major, because a lot of these kids don't know what they want to study when they get here. And one day it'll hit them just like one day it hit me. And it starts with the professors and the impact that the professors make on their lives. I think what we're doing at Georgia College is the future of college athletics. We're treating players in a manner of professionalism that we have to find ways to connect with our players and connect with our students without raising our voice, having a man-to-man situation with these guys, and ultimately getting the best out of them. This is where college athletics is headed. What we're doing at Georgia College is what college coaching is going to be in the year 2020 and beyond. And I am so thankful to be a part of that. And from the groundwork that was laid for our program and to where we are now, and to take these Bobcat reins, I want to start today. And the response has been unbelievable around the Southeast from my peers, from administrators, from student athletes, from recruits. And it's something that we as faculty, staff, students, and fans have a lot to be proud of. And I want to thank you today for allowing me and my family to be a part of the Bobcat family. And we are ready to go. We're ready to make you guys proud. And sooner or later, the lights will work. I had another joke, and I might as well share it with you. But you know, when you get in the grind, as we call it in baseball and in athletics, when you get in the grind with these guys, and you start to learn them as people, and you try and teach them to not make the mistakes maybe that I made, and then when they make mistakes, we learn from it, and we learn how to bounce back. I would love, in 30 years, to have one of our former Georgia College players to be a presidential candidate and to have a little more option than we do right now. So that was my joke. But I really appreciate your time today. I know everyone has taken a little piece of their day to come spend it with us and our athletic department and our baseball program. I want to thank Dr. Dorman for setting the bar so high, and Wendell for setting the bar so high within athletics. And it's a great day to be a Bobcat. Thank you, guys.
Again, thank you all so much for coming out. Freshmen in the back, again, just a terrific crowd, a great day for our university. Thank you again. Please.